If I'm going to work all day, if I'm working from 10 o'clock to like 7, 8 o'clock at night, you want me to come home and cook and clean? And you might be at home at 5 and you ain't did nothing? Like, come, come on. Like, we have to think, like, because that's my life. It might not be yours. Like, your woman might get home before you. And then that's okay. Like, y'all need to establish that dynamic. But for me, I'm getting home at like 8, 8:30. Bro, you want me to cook? It's unfair.
I do think we still should have gender roles. I know there are always going to be people that are going to go against the grain. And I think that's why maybe we're the most socially or culturally disrupted as people, because everybody wants to have their own individual way of doing things. And there's no real tradition for us anymore. Uh, as far as gender roles, I guess the discussion could be, are we speaking in terms of, are these gender roles biologically predisposed, or are they socially constructed? I think that's where a lot of the arguments are coming from. But if we're just speaking about, do I think that there are certain things that men should be doing and there are certain things that women should be doing traditionally? I think so. Um, we can discuss exactly what those things are. They're always going to vary. Uh, but I think we really do need to have the discussion a little more specifically. I know a lot of you would say, like, maybe if we transform or we evolve what the roles are, because obviously times have changed, so things have to be adjusted. It's necessary to have that conversation. But to just abolish gender roles, I don't know if that's even beneficial, given the state that we are now. We even having this conversation uh, is evident as to the confusion that we have, as well as the disagreements that we have on just what we would call simple things. They become super complicated. Um, so again, I'm gonna land my plane, but I think we should have gender roles, and I think again the conversation should be based around more than being transformative and evolutionary.
Can you tell me the specific gender role the man is supposed to do, and then what the woman's supposed to do?
So for me, it would be, like I say, taking the trash out, cutting the yard, anything that's has to do with the plumbing. I would be handling that. Small maintenance that don't require like an actual contractor for the most part. Be handling that. When it comes to security, like making sure my family's safe, being the person to volunteer to go meet the threat in the night, I'll be handling that. I believe in making sure I take care of my family financially, but to my point earlier, some people might be in situations where the women can make more, so I don't think that should be a determinant. Um, the end, like walking on the inside of the street, so she should be on the inside, pumping the gas. Um, just things when you think of chivalry applied to a relationship and things that require physical strength or the nastier job, I would expect the man to be handling that.
Any of the men really, on this panel or in this space discuss that we're looking for the gender roles to change? Like, has that been something that you guys have observed?
Can you guys explain the gender roles that you expect from women? That was the second part of her question.
So again, for my house, so she does the cooking. We both will clean, but she's primarily the person that's cleaning. Um, when it comes to like the homework with the kids, she primarily is doing it, but I don't got no problem stepping in and helping doing that too. Um, uh, she kind of run the schedule for the house. Like I don't like talking to people, so she'll just give me the information and I'll be like, yay or nay, we doing this, that, and the third. She maintained the relationships, the social relationships we got with other people, and then just, loop me in about everything. My mama, my cousin, everybody talk to her, and then I get the message through her because I really, like I say, I'll be like secluded kind of. Setting up the events for the kids. So if it's something that requires more than just payment, then I'll do it. But when it's something that like just scheduling and making the payment, all that stuff, she'll handle that. And then everything else we kind of split. So depending on who's available, and any of those things on her end, if need to be, I could assist with, but I wouldn't expect her to do too much of the stuff on the masculine side.
So my only issue is in this way, I accept that men and women don't think alike. Like on topics like these, we do not think alike. Men are very like black and white, either or. You got to have gender roles or you don't have gender roles. And I don't know, and I'm not talking about the men on this panel specifically. I'm just talking about like men in general. I don't know what glitches in their brain when women are like, this is 2025. Women do things differently than before. So as individual couples, we need to figure out what dynamic works for us, because that black and white, women cook and clean, men work and build stuff, it does not apply. And that's okay. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what did happen. It matters what needs to happen for you and yours, for me and mine. Because if I'm going to work all day, if I'm working from 10 o'clock to like 7, 8 o'clock at night, you want me to come home and cook and clean, and you might be at home at 5 and you ain't did nothing? Like, come on. Like, we have to think, like, because that's my life. It might not be yours. Like, your woman might get home before you. And then that's okay. Like, y'all need to establish that dynamic. But for me, I'm getting home at like 8, 8:30. Bro, you want me to cook? It's unfair. And also, if guys, as you're single and you're going to work and coming home and you're cleaning and you're cooking your meals and you're taking care of all of your household labor, once you get a woman in your household, you like, that's it, that's all, I'm retired. Yeah. Why? And if you individually are tired of doing that, why would you put that off on that woman and expect for her to be like, I love this. This is nice. Because that's not fair. She's tired too. Like, she's got to clean for her oneself. Now she got to clean for your oneself and her oneself, which is 2 people. And you clean for who? Nobody? You cook for who? Nobody? That doesn't make sense in this day and age for some people. So we're not saying get rid of them. We are saying that you need to think in color. Y'all need to get out of the black and white, either or. This is where you need to listen to women, because we think differently than you in this situation. Like, we think in a broader spectrum than you all. You all are on one line. We here and there and everywhere else. So if it doesn't make sense, maybe you should just take some time and listen and understand what people are saying.
Yeah, I think it's worth a conversation, Bo. I can appreciate your comedic approach to us being very binary or black and white, as you stated. But I think where it gets a little convoluted is that the introduction from man to woman is very much the same. So as a relationship can develop and it can evolve, right? I agree with you. I actually follow that same regimen myself. We can make our relationship function the way it works for us. It's not based on me being man and you being woman. This is the challenge. Everything men have always had to do, we still have to do. You use the example that if you man are cooking and cleaning and doing what you do before the woman, then why should that change when I arrive? Well, we're saying the same thing, because if we're meeting you in your state of being a grown person and you're cooking, cleaning, doing your laundry, paying your own bills, why now when I arrive, you all of a sudden get amnesia like you don't know what Edison is? or spectrum or all of these things. Same conversation. And that's the challenge, is that it is worth a conversation. That current day, we need to figure out moving forward, because we're not going back. There's no regression. How are men and women going to facilitate relationships that are more equitable to both parties? That's what is occurring. And it seems like we can't seem to find middle ground, because I believe the men on this panel, men that listen, we ain't got no problem being man. We do the man stuff, whether it's the gutters or the protection, paying the bills, we ain't got no problem. But the challenge is that we still are doing what we've always done. We see you across the room, you fine, hey, how you doing? What's your name? Because current day, as women are saying, things have changed. That's BS. I don't know no women that approach men. I don't know no women that approach men in mass and take them out on dates. Men can barely get celebrated for their birthdays or anything like that. So some of what you're saying, I hear you, but women are still very much like, no, we want to be pursued. We want to be celebrated. We want to experience what it is to be a woman. And I don't think that there's nothing wrong with that. So I think it is worth a conversation.